So, we did something. We bought a house. The Hohrein Group bought a house. So I want to introduce you to the Walnut Project. Oh, and what a house we bought. Okay, little backstory. About 2.5 months ago, a gentleman reached out to me on Facebook. Let's call him JD. So JD reached out because he had seen a house I had previously sold in Camden, Delaware that was in disrepair and it needed a lot of love. Just driving past the property, I could tell that there was already evidence of major water damage and structural decay. The roof looks like it's melting off the east side of the house, and the porch has no hope of supporting any kind of weight, and the roof of said porch is going to need a full reconstruction. There are multiple windows missing, further exposing the house to weather and critters of all sorts. As we walk into the house, there's just stuff everywhere. Now we know the house has not been lived in for some time, and it's been used as a storage unit since the previous residents vacated. The mess didn't bother me. I was looking for evidence of disrepair that would send me running for the hills. Disqualifying this property as a potential rehab was the goal, and to do so would then change my mindset from a rehab to a wholesale. That being said, there's a lot of water damage, from the ceiling in the living room falling in, to the mold that seems to grow on every surface. This would require a full demo of this side of the house, right down to the studs, but I'm not concerned about that. The staircase is beautiful and surprisingly well preserved. Keeping this original will be the goal. Again, stuff everywhere. I am, however, seeing evidence of some previous renovation. The hallway has sheetrock walls and ceilings, which deviate from the original plaster. And here's our first evidence of water damage on this side of the house. The doors on the second floor are ornate and original. Our goal would definitely be to save them if possible. The front bedroom goes back to the plaster walls, but dual pane windows. As a whole, this room has been pretty well preserved. The main bedroom is an entirely different story. After years of rain coming through the roof, the ceiling in the far corner is completely given way. The carpet is soaked through and nothing is salvageable in this room. It's likely that the corner will have to be rebuilt to ensure structural integrity, but we won't know for sure until the demo is complete. This is where the average Jew go running for the hills. The door directly ahead is a full bathroom that was a retrofit. My assumption is that it was once a closet and they took the space out of the third bedroom to make the shower. The third bedroom is small and awkwardly shaped. This is also where we have access to the attic. So unfortunately, before this project even got started, we lost a good amount of video. It is what it is. I did have video of the attic and the surrounding buildings, but at this point, we know kind of what the house is. And so the goal is to understand what the house will resell for and what our rehab cost will be, so that we know what we can offer for the house. And it took us about 2 weeks to come up with it. And again, it's all estimations because it's going to take us about 6 to 9 months to rehab this house. So who knows what the market's going to be doing next summer. Now, you always want to give yourself additional exit strategies, whether you only get it to the demo phase and then sell it as a shell, whether we rehab it and then rent it out for a few years to recoup some money, or we sell it for a profit at the end of the day as soon as we're done with the renovations. Now, I'm not going to get into numbers here. It's not important because it changes all the time. What we did come up with was a if this, then that win-win scenario. And when I sat down with JD and his wife, they were very happy to go through and understand where we were and why we were coming up with the numbers we were. Because at the end of the day, it needs to be win-win for both of them. And like that, we're under contract. So now that we're under contract, there's a little bit of due diligence that needs to be done. We need to get a wood destroying insect inspection that allows us to make sure that there's no termite damage into crawl space, and a structural inspection so that we make sure that the house doesn't fall down around us as we demo it. With the inspections complete, we then move towards settlement, which was supposed to be September 15th. But just as settlement starts closing in on us, we start to watch the prices of materials skyrocket. As of the middle of September, had we taken and started the project then, we would have increased our rehab cost by $50,000 in materials alone because of the short supply that was hitting the market at that time. So we reached out to the sellers and we discussed an idea of extending settlement for 30 days. This allowed them to get more heirlooms out of the house and allowed us to watch the material market to make sure that we were still making a wise investment by buying this house in a supply and demand crisis. So the sellers accepted, which is great. And we got to watch the market of materials for an extra month. We were a little more confident at the end of that, so we went forward. And October 15th, we went ahead and bought the Walnut Project. Now, we will be doing weekly update videos just like this one as the project develops. And it's going to be interesting, I promise you. If you want to follow this project, subscribe here on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at Sell Delaware. Follow us on Twitter at Sell Delaware. But until next week, you guys stay safe and enjoy.